So excited to unveil the abundance box. I have absolutely loved doing this kit. Rick and I kept talking about how there were so many things that we were inspired to put in this box for you. And as soon as we got everything together, we started to get the downloads. It was like, oh, that's why. Oh, this is why. So there are a lot of things that were added to this that we didn't even know why they were being added. And then everything came together so beautifully. So I'm really excited to go through and show you each of the items in your kit so that you know what they are. And some of them you will save for meditation, and some of them you will do on your own as you feel called to. So I'm going to go through and explain a little bit about each one of the items in there, at least tell you what it is, because I know how overwhelming it can be to get all these things and be like, okay, what do I do with it? And the last thing we want is for it to sit somewhere collecting dust. So thank you for watching this video and finding out what to do with your stuff in the box. So we're going to unpack it. Okay. Ta-da! So the first thing in there, you should have one of these that has your whole packing list, and you probably found this video because you scanned it. If not, you can scan that and go directly to it. So you have your grid. So this piece, it's funny, in a lot of the kits, people like to keep these as artwork. You are absolutely welcome to. And this has been really fun to create. And if you saw, there's a face in it. I don't know if the camera catches up on it. There it is. So it's interesting because I didn't plan on painting a tree with a face. So that divinely came through, and I helped it after the face appeared because it was really, really light. So it's kind of neat, the energy behind all that was created for this. And there's no accident that we're doing the Abundance Kit now, or if you picked up your kit after the subscription, there's no accident that you were called to do it now when you are. So this is for the grid that we're going to do. There's a separate meditation for this, so you can display it, you can enjoy it, just hang on to it because you will be using it. But when we talk about a crystal grid, that's this right here. And we have some fun things planned. So stay tuned or jump on the other video and you will learn what to do with this. Okay. So the next thing in your kit that you will see, or the first thing, aside from your paperwork, is the Soapstone box. And they're all just slightly different. So Soapstone I love because it's all about soothing and creating that balance. And we laughed because we're like, you can put so many things in here. You can put in your money, you can hold your crystals from the last box. So Soapstone is about balance. It's about releasing old patterns. So when it comes to abundance, whether it's you got this kit because it came, or you got this kit because you're creating more money in your life and wealth, or you got the kit because you would like an abundance of time or money or love or presents or food, like whatever it is that you're choosing to feel abundant for can be applied to this. But one of the big things that most people love around it is money. I mean, the kit is green for a reason. And remembering that everything we need is already given to us. And so Soapstone helps breaking some of those patterns. It also creates that sense of power to embrace the change. So a lot of us, in order to receive more, we have to be able to see what we're letting go of. We have to be able to be willing to see what we want to let go of. We get to choose to let go of something in order to receive something more. And it's interesting because most of the items in this kit you will use up, so you're not going to have a lot of stuff lying around. However, this is one that you'll be able to keep forever and ever as long as you choose. So that's our Soapstone. It also helps with logic and creativity. So this is actually an incense burner. If you see the little holes that are in it, so that helps the smoke to get out. So your incense, which we'll go over next, it comes in these little cones. So this is what your incense looks like if you open it up. You just set it in the pot and you light it, and then you put this on top and the smoke will come out of it and it kind of trickles out. That way it's not like a cloudy puff, but it soothes out. You can also use your beautiful peacock feather to dust it around. We will be using these in some of the ceremonies as well. So just to prep the space. Peacock, by the way, let's go there next. So peacock is all about prosperity. It's about wealth. But it's also, sometimes people don't realize there's so many gods and goddesses that are represented with the peacock. One of my favorites is Lakshmi because she represents the prosperity, the abundance, that everything you need is already provided. Peacock is also about support. And there's even this protective guardian element. That's like the eyeballs watching. So they used to put them at tombs. They would put peacock feathers to guard the way. So it's also, when it comes to abundance, it's about receiving that which we want to receive, right? We don't want more drama. We don't want more chaos. We don't want more problems. We want more of the easy flowing things. You can also put your peacock feather in the feng shui section of your house for wealth and prosperity, because feathers and water elements are powerful for that, plus golds and greens and blues, and peacock has all of those. If you want to know where that section is, you walk into a room and it's going to be your far left corner of a room when you walk into it, if you do it based on a room grid. So the far left corner, you can put your peacock feather if you don't even know where to put it in your house. Okay, so you can use that when you burn your incense. And now we're going to talk about the amber. So the amber incense, you have 10 of these beautiful cones. Ta-da! Oh, my cone doesn't want to stop. So there's 10 of these cones, okay? And that's your incense. If it is too strong, you can burn it outside instead of burning it inside. But even if you do burn it inside, make sure that you open a window. No one wants to be smoked out. Sometimes they can cause headaches if we have too much scent and we're empaths and sensitive to smell. So if you tend to have the gift of knowing, I recommend doing it in a well-ventilated area. So the amber is for a reason. Like nothing in here is like, oh, we accidentally found this. It's all intentional. So the amber has to do with clearing some of that scarcity mentality, some of that there's not enough. So if you're stuck in your head, it's a really good time to burn this. And I invite you to use everything up this month. We created these kits so that everything would be used in a month, and that way by the time the next month starts, you're ready to focus on a different emotion. So we had like the protection kit, and all the things in the protection kit get to be used up except for those ones that you could wear every day. And then we have things like this where we're focusing on abundance. Definitely use them at least once a week. Use your abundance stuff. So this one also helps with good fortune, helps with success, money attraction, all of it. So I'll burn some right before doing my bills and sending all my paperwork off to my my tracking people. So yeah, so my financial people, when I have to send them off paperwork or I'm paying taxes, I'll burn some of this just because I love creating more abundance. And sometimes if there's negative energy around it or negative thoughts like, oh, I hate doing this, the government's gonna take all my money, that's why we have the abundance, because we want to remember that, oh, I'm sending it out and more gets to come back to me. So abundance of amber. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to look at is your Pyrite amulet. So in these kits, we had a really hard time picking on some of the things. It was like we kept getting, yep, you need this, and yep, you need that. And so it's like, well, we need both. And they're like, yes, but our budget wouldn't let us put both. And most people don't want two of the same thing. So some of the kits have an either or option. So one of the first either ors is either the Pyrite stone or the 5 metal stone with Pyrite. Okay, so one's a little bit bigger. So you have one or the other. I'm going to talk about the first one. So your Pyrite stone, and we just put on a little loop because you can tie it to your beaded meditation bracelet or put it on a charm or a pendant or hang it in a doorway. Not everybody wants to wear metals, and so that's why we tried to leave it optional by just putting it on the ribbon. So this stone, this Pyrite, is all about the fiery passion stone. So lighting the fire within, pushing through to get what you want, but it's just not about go, go, go too much. It's almost about more strength. It's about willpower, creating that stamina, the willpower to say, that's not what I need. That's not what I want. Sometimes that's just as big as saying, ooh, that's what I'm going for, is to say no. It's also protective against negative energies and environmental pollutants. So anciently, a lot of people would wear these as just simply a protection stone, but also to protect that which is flowing to you. You don't want toxic stuff to flow to you. So that's where that comes into play. And so that's the Pyrite. The other one has Pyrite, but also has 5 other metals infused with the Pyrite. So that's where it's a little bit unique. It is smaller because there are more stones tied to it. And so, yeah, it was really interesting because I fell in love with this and I was like, I love it so much. It's just stone, it's just a rock, but it's such beautiful energy around it. So if you got this one, you're lucky. Well, if you got both of them, you're lucky. You're lucky just for getting the kit. With the 5 metals are lead, they're iron, copper, mercury, and silver. Okay, all infused with the pyrite. So everything I just said about the pyrite applies to this as well, but you have those extra metals. And what those extra metals do is they offer not only abundance, but they offer balancing. Like I wear copper every day because it helps to balance all the energies of my body. So if you tend to struggle getting your minerals in and holding your minerals, then you probably are getting one of these. We did intuitively tune in to every single box that went out. So if you were wishing you got the other one, you got the one you needed. You got the one we were inspired for. And we may have some available for purchase individually if you decide you need an abundance of them. But we tuned in. So the one you got was the one your body was saying you really needed. So whether you're wearing it or putting it in a space of your home. You can also put this in the far left corner of a room because that's also your abundance corner. Specifically your money. If you were looking for love, then you'd want it paired with something because you never want to put one thing in a love corner. Okay. Okay, so that is our metal stones. The next thing coming up are the beautiful beads. So these also have a meditation for them, and it's a either or. So you either got the Moonstone or the Ocean Jasper. So the Ocean Jasper, and I'll tell you what the crystals do, but do make sure you do the meditation with these so you know how to use them. So with the Ocean Jasper, it's all about releasing those blocks and stagnancies around what you're trying to receive. So they're considered a crystal of abundance because it helps you to follow the ebb and that flow. So when everything's pulling away, allow it to pull away. And then when it comes in to receive, embrace it and receive it all. Don't fight the tides. So obviously it has the ocean energy. Don't fight the tides, let it flow. It's also helping for grounding. And it also helps to release the things that are blocking us from feeling that heart space, love, light, and joy. So that is the Ocean Jasper. If you got that one, it was because you were meant to. If you got the Moonstone, it's because you were meant to. And see, I'm wearing it because I actually really vibe with the Moonstone, as you can tell. So Moonstone is in here, and that's because it's about the growth and it's about strength while you're growing. So it's a little bit of the ebb and flow, but it's also more about balancing while you're ebbing and flowing. So the Jasper is about helping to allow the ebb and flow with that, and when everything goes one way, being like, okay, we're going this way, we're okay with it. Okay, we're going that way, we're okay with it. Where the Moonstone is more about finding that middle ground and making it easier to swing back and forth. So if you feel like you're chaotic lately, this is probably one you needed, unless you needed the grounding from this one. And I'll go into detail with these again in the meditation. So this is also intuition based. So it allows abundance because we're tuning into that which we desire to bring, and that which will give us what we want, rather than what we're told we're wanting or what we should want or what those old beliefs and thought patterns are. So Moonstone. We get to receive a lot of abundance when we're living guided, right? Okay, so then the next item is our candle. It's almost like a little Oscar. I love these. So your beautiful feminine goddess candle. So the reason we wanted this candle, and it was funny, we went back and forth for like 3 seconds, but 3 seconds of going back and forth is a lot of deliberation for us. So we went back and forth on this, and it had to be the feminine. And the reason for that is because, and you will use this in the meditation as well, so I won't go into too much detail, but you can light it when you are calling in that abundance, when you're calling in that ability to receive. If you're feeling like you're too masculine in a moment, or you're feeling like you're forcing yourself to do it all, that's the time to light this and set the intention. Like, this is what I want to bring in. This is what I desire. Please help me bring it in. Just do it for me. Thank you. And a lot of times when I mention masculine and feminine, people think I'm talking male or female. I am not. I'm talking masculine and feminine. So the masculine side is action oriented. It's go and do and work hard and make those things happen. Where the feminine is about receiving. It's about being patient. It's about allowing what is already coming to come. And when it's time for you to take action, you will know with so much, with every fiber of your being, that you have to take action. I also love that she almost looks like she has a mermaid tail at the bottom, like her feet from far away. Up close, it doesn't look like that to me, but from far away, it looks like a mermaid tail. And we have this watery flow theme with the fire. So it's like the passion and the water fire, the flow, and then the cooling off. It's all about balance. And so I love her. So we will be talking more about the feminine and allowing yourself to receive that which you desire. Because sometimes we don't allow ourselves and it comes into worth. And again, that's another video. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna look at is the honey candy. Okay, so there's a reason why we have honey candy in here. So honey represents a direct connection between mind and body. Honey also if I get tongue-tied, say I just need to put some in my mouth. Honey is also about tying in our senses and pulling our experience in where we can remember that we love being a delicious, messy human. Sometimes we get so caught up in the spiritual of things or the earthly things that we lose ourselves and we hate being a human. And so the honey reminds us of the sweetness of life. All that we need is already coming. And we can work hard, but we also get to savor and enjoy the things that we love. What good is working hard all the time if we don't enjoy the rewards? Or we don't even enjoy the work and then we're resentful. And then when we are enjoying, we're enjoying not having to work, which makes us still working in our minds. So I invite you, when you enjoy your honey candy, to savor it, to just enjoy it, to just breathe for a minute and allow yourself to feel that abundance of everything you desire. You can also put the honey in your tea if you choose. So adding in that extra sweetness energy, that will definitely help, okay? So anciently, there are so many metaphors for honey being abundance because it's something that humans don't make. It's just given to us, right? Okay, so the next thing in here that we're gonna talk about is our tea. I love this. Okay, so in your kit, you have a mesh bag with a little card in it. That's Carrie's. She's amazing. So your tea was actually infused with sound healing. Like, oh, isn't that amazing? So gong medicine, if you're on my Facebook, you can go look, and she sent me a video clip as she was preparing our teas. So the tea has oats, alfalfa, holy basil, rose, damiana, I always say it wrong, and lavender. So when you make your tea, you only need like a little bit amount. Like I probably make a cup out of that much. So I got several out of it. I invite you to do at least 1 cup of tea a week throughout the next month. And as you do, take some time to affirm what your desire is. Take some time to enjoy and feel the gratitude, allowing that sensation to fill you up. What are you excited about? What are you enjoying? The more we appreciate what's around us, the more we receive. And so with your tea, you also have some disposable tea bags as well. So this one is reusable. You just put the tea in, and when you're done, you just pour it out, rinse it, and let it dry. But if you wanted to use the disposable bags, we try to accommodate everybody. We put some bags in there. So there's at least 4 disposable bags, plus you have the pouch that your tea came in. So that is the chillaxin tea. Now basil in there is protecting, which when it comes to receiving, we need to feel safe to receive. We need to feel like we can receive, allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough to let it come into us. We also have in here, there's lavender, which is the calming. Don't stress over what you're getting or stress over what you're not getting. We have the rose that heals the heart space. We also have the beautiful oats in there. And I haven't ever seen a tea with oats before. So this is where I love it because we get to be creative. So oats is actually all about nourishment, and abundance is also about nourishment. So with those oats, it's allowing yourself to feel that cup filled, quite literally. Self-love isn't something we do when we're depleted. It's actually best done when it's proactive, because then you don't ever get depleted. and then life is just more fun and more joyful. And when you have more fun and more joy, more comes your way, right? So that is this one. Oh, and then the weird one that I can never pronounce, Damiana. Oh, and the Damiana is about, it helps for circulation. So think of that money circulating. It helps for, it's actually an aphrodisiac. So it helps to open up that support system. And that's the reason it's an aphrodisiac, because it helps the circulation in your roots, your base, your pelvis area where all your sexual organs are. Interesting how that works. And so it helps to open up that flow and everything that comes in to flow out and to be able to receive and to give and to flow, all about the ebb and the flow. So that is your beautiful tea. If you utilize that aphrodisiac, that's just an extra bonus. The next thing in here is the beautiful shell that you have. You also have a piece of charcoal, and you have these beautiful ties. So this is all a ceremony that is on that meditation with Rick. So I'm not going to go into detail of this, but basically it's just your rose, it's your jasmine, your pine, and your cedar that he set intentions and wrapped for you. And then your charcoal you're going to use to ignite it. It's going to be a fabulous burn bowl. I'm really excited for you to do that. So that's what that item is. You don't really have to do much. You can do something on your own if you choose to, because you're open to that and you're able to do that. But I do encourage you to watch Rick's ceremony so you can understand a little bit deeper of how you can free up some of those abundance blocks. We also have in here our affirmation cards. So beautiful Cindy Brown made these, and she gets to have a training as well, an extra bonus. And in these affirmation cards, the idea is for you to take it around with you, put it somewhere where you're going to see it and be reminded of it. So, or even giving it to somebody who you feel like really needs it. So don't lose that. Or if you lose it to the right people, right? And then lastly, you have your balm. Okay. So I could smell this all day. So the balm, its purpose is to help realign that being receptive to abundance. So it has the essential oils of rose, which heals the heart. It's all about unconditional love and receiving. And so we give without worry for what we're going to get back. We give because we know eventually it cycles back. It was also essential that this came in a circle. And that's because the circle is the law of karma. Everything you put out eventually comes back to you. And usually it comes back with momentum, right? And so every little time you give and you're like, oh, I didn't get anything back, just know that it's circulating and it's working its way. And so with the rose and the unconditional love, it helps us to give for the joy of giving and to receive for the joy of receiving. So, and not putting judgments or limitations on who gets to get help or who gets to receive money or who gets to receive love and who doesn't. It's all about giving when you feel called to give and receiving because you love to receive. The other oils in this one is pine needle. So pine needle is all about longevity and peace. So able to keep going, and not going to where you don't have strength, but just sometimes you need a little boost, right? The orange blossom helps to elevate your mood, helps to create that liveliness, that joy emotion. And so it makes it easier to go along the path. It makes it easier to enjoy what's around you and to feel abundant, and especially gratitude. Citrus helps a lot with feeling gratitude. And then lastly, we have sage, which is also protection. So, and offers clarity. So clearing out the negative, able to see things. So with this balm, you can use it right before any of your ceremonies. You're just going to rub a little bit of it on, and you can put it in your hands and smell it. You can take it and rub it in your temples, or I especially recommend rubbing it in your chest. And the reason for this is because you want to put it anywhere where you feel that tightness. So when you're feeling scarcity, where do you feel it? Is it in your stomach because you're afraid that you're not going to be nurtured and provided for? Is it in your low back? Is it in your chest? Is it in your throat? Applying it to the area that you feel that oil needs to be, or even just rubbing it in your hands and just like, okay, let's breathe this in really deep. So that's the best way to utilize that. It will melt in the heat, but it will reconstitute as soon as you cool it off. So forewarning for those of us who live in the desert. Okay, so that is our amazing abundance kit. I am so excited that you get to share it and that you get to join us for our meditations and the information. If after the meditations and watching this video, you still have questions about things in your kit, please feel free to reach out. Because even if it's a question that maybe Rick or Cindy or I can't answer, guess what? We know somebody who can, I'm sure of it, or we will research and find out. But the idea is to share it. Or if there's a new epiphany you had with your kit, I encourage you to share it and to post it and spread the word so that more people can get the kits and the information and the resources that they so desperately need and want, so that we can keep that circulation of abundance and flow and love and money and all of it going. Yes. I love you guys. I will see you soon in the meditations.